Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive Podcast. In this episode, we're going to look at the forecast for each life path number for the month of November 2023. Before we get into that, this, of course, is a general reading. If you would like a personalized reading where we'll take a look at your actual personal numerology and dive a bit deeper into that, you can book some time with me. My information is in the description box below. I would love to work with you. On that note, I'm getting ready to put out the the 2024 year ahead forecast for each life path number. I'll probably have those out in early November. Or let's just say mid-November to be safe. But if you're interested in sort of getting ahead of the curve and you want to know your personal year ahead forecast, because it will be different than, potentially different than the life path forecast. If you want to know your personal year ahead forecast, then book some time with me. I would love to look at that for you. I will also include, if you book before January 2024, then I'll include any time up to that point. So if you book now, then you'll get the rest of October, November, December, and then all of 2024 in your forecast for your year ahead. So, and if you book in January, that's great too. You'll get all of 2024. So, if you're looking to maybe get figure out what's going on potentially for the next couple of months, then this is a great time to book because I will throw those additional months in for free. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at November. I can't believe we're already here, but here we are. So let's take a look. Life Path 11-2. So you all are going to be working with your core life path number this month, which is 2. So we're going to talk about what that means in just a moment. But I did pull an animal wisdom message for you all for November, and you got wolf energy. And I kind of love this for you all. So with wolf energy, there's a lot that's kind of coming in for this, right? So initially, of course, when we think of wolves as a packed animal, right? So this could be a month where if you have been feeling sort of like you're a lone wolf out in the world, like doing your own thing, sort of more independent, you could see your people come in now. You could see your pack come in for you at this time. And so I would say the more you can put yourself out there, the more that you can sort of mingle, be a little bit more social, you might see those connections come in very quickly that feel like a soul family almost. So that's very, very possible this month as well. The other thing with wolf energy, there's just sort of this, I don't know, when we think about wolves, right, it's sort of this it's this energy of commanding respect through your actions, through your presence, right? And also this energy of decisiveness, I don't know, being very decisive in what it is that you want, what it is that you go for, making sure that it serves you, that it's aligned with the direction that you want to be moving in towards. Wolves are not going to expend their energy on things that are not going to produce or, give a return of investment or serve them in some way. So in other words, they're not going to, invest a bunch of energy into a small meal, right? They're going to because again, they're pack animals. They've got to feed the pack. They're going to go after those bigger prey that are going to serve the whole, right? Serve the group. So my point is, it's what you invest your energy into this month. Make sure that it feels aligned for you. Make sure that it doesn't feel like you're going backwards, that you're investing in things that deplete you or take your energy away or that aren't serving you. Make sure that you're investing your energy in the things that lift you up, that inspire you, that you feel called to go after, that there's a bigger purpose there. And explore, be curious, right? But also investigate it enough to recognize whether or not whether it serves you or not, and whether it inspires you, because we always come back to that with 11 energy, right? Does it inspire you? If it inspires you, it's a yes. Be curious, go after it, explore it. If it does not inspire you or depletes you, takes your energy away, then it's not for you. So don't invest your energy into that. It's not going to serve you or the pack. The other thing with wolf energy is there's definitely something here about reputation. Wolves have a certain reputation. And again, wolves are often very misunderstood as well, right? But that's like a whole nother story. So I would say, if you feel like you're misunderstood, just know that is, there's one thing to be misunderstood. That's going to happen, right? And because everybody has their own perceptions and their own perspectives and their own experiences, right? So they're not going to always understand us, especially if they're not willing to listen or have those conversations or hear us. And so there is definitely, it's not uncommon to be misunderstood, but to not seek understanding, that is more problematic, right? So what I would say to this is, if you are somebody who is misunderstood, which would not be uncommon for an 11-2, to be honest, right? If you are somebody who is misunderstood, don't invest your energy so much into trying to get those other people, the person who doesn't understand you, to try to understand you. That has to come from their own space. They have to want to understand you. They have to want to seek understanding. And that can only come through conversation, etc. So if you're misunderstood and you continuously try to explain yourself or be understood, at some point you have to recognize that you're investing your energy into something that is depleting you. So go towards those who understand you, who understand the vision, or who want to try to understand you, right? Like, invest your energy into those connections, because that's where you're going to see the most alignment. That's where you're going to see the most growth and the most expansion and all those things. So I would say that if you continue to show up to people who you continue to misunderstand you, you might need to reevaluate and see, is this relationship sort of conducive to my own growth and journey? Or am I spending so much energy trying to make this person understand me when they really aren't seeking understanding? Does that make sense? So just a side note there, definitely gravitate more towards the people who want to understand you and who invest the energy in understanding you and who are having those conversations. I would also say it's important for you to do the same, right? Make sure that you are seeking understanding in the places where you might have misunderstood. So in other words, if someone tells you that you have misunderstood or there's a misunderstanding, then it's up to you to also want to seek that understanding, right? So anyway, the other thing with Wolf is reliability and results. So there's this thing with wolves, right? It's interesting because they will strategize and they will commit to something and see it through, usually to completion. Sometimes that's to a fault, but most times it works in their favor. And so there's definitely something here about committing your energy to something and seeing it through to completion. Because with 11-2s, there can sometimes be this period of time, or sort of like a period, these periods of times will come and go where there's like this feeling of aloofness or kind of feeling a little bit lost on the journey, not quite sure knowing what you want to do or what that looks like or how to get started. And so there can kind of be this feeling of, just feeling lost, right? Not knowing what inspires you and not really knowing how to figure it out type thing. And that's totally normal for 11-2s. So the key is to continue to focus your energy on whatever it is that you feel drawn to, and then investigate it, move towards it, and put the effort into producing something, right? Putting yourself out there, et cetera, et cetera. But being reliable and getting results. So there's definitely something here about committing to something and then seeing it through to completion. The other thing I would say about the 2 energy, right, that you're going to be working with this month, there's definitely something here in November about becoming the observer in as many situations as possible this month, where if you are in some kind of dynamic where there's, a bias or an emotional charge or some kind of like you are choosing sides or you are so immersed in this situation that you can't see beyond it, this month is going to ask you to step back, to hit the pause button and take a step back and just observe, because through that observation, you're going to see from a greater perspective, and you're going to be able to see all sides of the situation that you couldn't see if you were immersed in the situation. So there's definitely something here about that standing back and just taking it all in. By doing that, you're able to see where the disconnect is, truly where the disconnect is. And then you can make a decision as far as how you want to move towards connection. What does that look like? What's needed type thing. When we're so immersed in a situation that it's not only is it a charged energy, but we're also contributing that charged energy through our emotions, through our connectivity to the situation, whatever the case may be, through our biases, then we're not seeing the picture fully, and we're not able to clearly see where the disconnect is because we are part of the disconnect. So this month, whether it's with career, people, relationships, just your greater purpose in life, whatever the case may be, just step back, hit the pause button, release the need to fully be in control of the situation or fully be a part of the situation, or even remove the need to be part of the resolve. And just stand back and take it all in from a very calm, sort of introspective space, right? Where you're just truly just trying to understand without trying to, diagnose or come up with a solution or whatever the case may be. But it's really just pulling back and taking it all in. And then from that space, it'll be easier to respond, however you choose to respond. So there's definitely something here. That's the biggest theme this month, I think, that you'll probably see is the need to be the observer. And that is such a theme for twos anyway. And then, of course, the 11 twos, right? Is to be the observer. Because in order to be the mediator, in order to be the one that brings harmony, in order to be the one who can bring connection where there's disconnection, you have to be able to see all sides. Once we form a bias, then we have chosen a side. Then we become part of the separation. We become part of the divide. And so for twos, this is a lifetime where you really are meant to be the observer. Not to say you can't have your own opinions and your own ideas and your own thoughts and your own agenda or whatever. Of course you can. But where there is separation, that's where you are called in this lifetime to be the observer, to see how you can find the common ground to help people move towards that common ground. And so, of course, that needs to be reflected in your own life first. So again, anywhere this shows up this month where you feel, again, that really charged energy of you've got to, choose a side or whatever, wherever it is that you might be contributing towards divisiveness, this month is going to ask you to be the observer, to fall back. Just don't feel like you need to contribute in that way and see what shows up. And it might call for you to be the bigger person, but that's part of that journey as well. And it doesn't mean that you need to accept poor behavior or mistreatment or any of those things. But it does mean that you're not going to get the full picture. You're not going to get the information that you need from being fully immersed in the situation. And also, if it helps to have a third party, so like a counselor, a coach, or something like that, to help you to see the bigger perspective, then of course that's also supported this month as well. The other thing I would say is there's definitely a big call for decisiveness this month. So there's going to potentially be some things that you need to make some really big decisions on, and be very discerning in those choices or those decisions. And I would say this is not a month to be easily influenced by outside forces. Follow your intuition. Follow the wisdom, the knowledge, the logic, whatever is presented to you. Take it all in and then make a decision from there that comes truly from you. And I think that you will find that those are the most aligned outcomes when it's truly coming from you. So don't, when you make a decision, stand by it, stand by yourself, and then see how it plays out, and then make if you need to make adjustments, you can make adjustments. But this is not a time to ask for advice and then follow that advice to a T without following your own guidance, your own inner guidance, because otherwise you're just following somebody else's storyline and not your own. So big energies this month, especially with wolf energy coming through. So, but yeah, it's always big energy for 11-2. So I hope it's a great November, guys. Take care. Bye for now.